Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the VRS GT Sprint Series here in Season 3. I'm Austin. I am joined by Marco Brabronera. Tyler had some things that he was go by, so Marco stepped in his spot. This week, we were at Brand's house. Last week, we saw a banger of a race, and now we're here at Interlagos. Marco, what you looking forward to in this race?
Well, first of all, hello Austin, hello everyone. I am absolutely, cannot wait for this race because this track is always a guarantee for some fantastic, action on the racetrack, and we have 22 cars ready to go in this SOF race top split. Very close qualifying times, and actually the drivers are taking the last turns around the racetrack. We have some nice cool weather, 26 degrees both in the air and on the racetrack, cloudy, a bit of wind, 17 kilometers per hour. I mean, I honestly cannot wait, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun as like I said, the cars are 1 minute away from the end of their qualifying session, and actually we can see some of these drivers running around trying to get the qualifying in. As you can see, sitting in second
He's going
place.
50.
Yeah,
he's just on an in lap. I think he's just
yeah.
waiting for the timer to roll down because he's currently doing 60 miles an hour.
he is absolutely a driver from the Deutschland, Austria and Switzerland region, Camillo Pezzoli, I think it's of Italian origin, given this name. And you can see him with his Mercedes AMG. He's the only car on track right now. He's getting some valuable camera time, if you ask me. Too bad he doesn't have any kind of sponsor on his livery, because that would have been very good for him. But this cloudy weather certainly is going to help these guys a lot. And here we go. The session is over in this very moment, and we can go through your starting grid as the cars are starting to form up on the hairpin section. Carlos Villegas, your pole sitter from Spain, in front of Camillo Pezzoli, then Kyle Dunlop, Antonino Garcia, Stefan Hofbauer, Adam Pilo in 6th place, then Lars Reinke, Daniel Manso, Joseba Rodriguez, Tommy Katila in 10th place, Matteo Couso in 11th, and Marcin Gazinski is sitting in 12th place, then Juan Salvado, Ronald Stryker, Manuel Fidalgo in P15, Frank Schlottmann in P16, then Christopher Hyman, David Flamand, John White, Paolo Theni in P20, and rounding up the grid we have Jose Arias and finally Nicolas Rubilar rounding up the grid in P22 without setting a valid time. And now we are waiting for the cars to form up on the grid. Austin, I think this is going to be great, as the variety of cars we have. As you can see, several machines, several makes: Audi, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, BMW also. I think we are only missing the Ford, and then the field would be, complete.
We're always missing the floor, but what surprised me is a McLaren on pole. Carlos Viales is starting on pole in the McLaren right next to the Mercedes. And thinking of Interlagos, you would think this would be a Audi-dominated track. Well, it is an Audi-dominated field, but the Audis are only starting from 4th. So,
yes.
Big mix-up of cars right here. We're looking on board of Kyle Dunlop, one of the Mercedes drivers. He had a great start last race. He started from 3rd once again as the pace lap is about to start. Everybody grab your popcorn because it's about to get popping for the VRS GT Sprint Series here at Interlagos.
Okay, I can get ready, with my, penalty jar, so to speak, because I'm going to call this Plan Pan Sprint Series so many times tonight. That's the way it was called back when I started on iRacing. So, well, no, it was actually before that. It was called just GT3 Sprint and Endurance. And you can see this beautiful Samsung livery Villegas rounding, leading the field through the twisty middle portion of the racetrack as they go down the hill into the left-hander that brings us to the Jussot corner and back into the Arquibancadas on the start-finish line. Always a tricky start of the race with the Senna S there, Austin, and also those walls very, very close. People trying to jump the start, people trying to get an advantage over other drivers. It could lead to some unnecessary drama as the cars head down the straight for the first time.
Sorry about that. Had to fix something on my screen right there. But as they're coming on to the final straight, the poor stage car is still leading off. Carlos Viales sitting on the bumper. No one really giving the stage car any space. So I believe as soon as that pace car is going to hop off into the pit lane, they're going to start flying down the straight. No mind games being played here, but it's a tight pack being led onto the front straight. Here goes the poor stage car, a little bit of waiting, but we are going green here at Sao Paulo, and racing underway for the VRS GT Sprint Series at Interlagos. Coming into Senna S's big fight for second place between Dunlop and Pazzoli. Dunlop up on the inside, getting a little bit of bump and rub action, but Pazzoli defends that just well. Very clean through the Senna S as they all are coming through here very fast. No Ocon is in the race. Very fun joke right there. So we're coming into turn 3. Garcia and Dunlop looking like a move could be made. Both of them go wide on the track. But everyone's keeping it very clean. No real accidents that I can see as everyone's made it through sector 1 very cleanly and around the first few corners. Everybody has no incidents on them.
Very professional start, as we can see the drivers now making, finding now the space to make the first moves. As we see Gajinski right now in P10, he has gained 2 places, and the biggest gainer has been Christopher Hyman. He's actually 5 places up from starting position. The biggest loser is certainly Juan Jose Salvado. He is dropped 6 places from the start of the race. 5 places, you are absolutely right, as the first lap is in the books and we have a mighty scrap for many positions, including 3rd place.
Battle for first is certainly alive and well, but also the battle for 3rd and 4th right here between Antonio Garcia and Kyle Dunlop as they're heading into Senna S. is a little bit of a move for P7, I believe, as we're looking at Gredzitsky and Rodriguez for P9. The battle for P7, defending of P7 is Rositsky and Manso. Right there, they're separated from that fight above them and behind them. But whoa, going down to the inside track. That's Rodriguez and Kaczynski once more. They're going side by side heading into turn 3. And Rodriguez is going to hold it on to the inside and stay in 9th place. Good try by Marcin Kaczynski in 10th.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, these drivers are absolutely, making it very professional in these first couple of laps. Certainly avoiding any kind of drama. Now this is going to be the massive commentator's curse as per usual. But so far, so good for everyone. Side by side between Gajinski and Hyman as they go down the hill once again. And now on the slow right-hander, one of the possible passing opportunities back at the front. Carlos Villegas is running away, we can say so, 1.10 seconds in front of Camillo Pezzoli. Kyle Dunlop is really putting on some pressure. Has been really put under pressure, my mistake, by Antonino Garcia. Let's run on board with him. And you see, using the slipstream, Audi versus Mercedes.
Yeah, that Mercedes has the power, but the Audi had the slipstream going up onto the inside. Here goes our Garcia, laid on the brakes, flies extremely wide. He tried to set it up the inside, but couldn't find the braking force, and he's going to fall back in a little collision, bump and run. Hoffbauer comes into the back end of Garcia. Hoffbauer now onto the inside. It looks like he's going to have the momentum coming out there. I'm surprised that Pilo didn't have the most of the speed, but he also had to get on the brakes. But Hoffbauer and Garcia banging wheels side by side, but Hoffbauer comes up onto the inside, and Stefan goes very wide, and here comes Garcia for the switchback move. Now Garcia's back into 4th place. And you see the flash of lights. Halpower is definitely not happy about that move once and for all. He's going to try to go for another inside line up on long, this long right-hander and into the tight braking zone. Halpower is going to hold on to fourth place. But here comes Pilo on Garcia. Pilo and Garcia side by side. Long left-hander right now. Very slow left-hander. But now Pilo is in sixth. And he's going to go for a move up onto the inside on Garcia for fifth place right here. Pilo's got the position on our timing screen, and it looks like he's going to hold that position right here. A great move by Pilo and Garcia. Keep that clean between each other, but Halpower, biggest winner of all, jumping up into fourth. And now a little bit of a transforming up behind him. So we're looking back at Garcia, at Rinsky, Manso, and Rodriguez, and that massive train of cars behind them.
So biggest loser so far, Garcia. That move that could have promoted him to second place, to third place, actually put him down to sixth, and he almost collected Pezzoli in the first corner, as we had once again down the hill and the Senna S, and I think you can see the pink BWT Audi has got some significant damage to the front. As we have, I think, an issue for Manuel Fidalgo. We'll go back to that very, very soon. But now, off Bauer defending from Pilo at the Theta do Lago, and he makes the move.
He's going to get switched back right here. Halpower made that move once again on Garcia that same way, but Pilo is going to hold it up onto the inside, and along this right-hander, he's going to have the better line. And with Halpower's damage along that front end, he's not going to have the damage. But speaking of damage, Halpower and Garcia once again get into each other. Coming out of that corner, and now that damaged BWT Audi is going to be struggling to keep up with Pilo, and especially with Garcia right behind him. There might be a little scrap between the Audis, and this might get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, Garcia is certainly sporting some big damage to his car. Same goes for off-Bauer, I think, but
Garcia's damage is at the rear end. Halpower's is at the front end.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there is no time to repair this at the pit stop. It's going to be a very short pit stop, and also, the pit window will open in a bit, so they will have to deal with the consequences of that contact for the rest of the race. Here we go.
Defending up onto the middle of the track, Halpower tries to make Garcia's life a living hell, but Garcia's going to hold it around the outside of the final turn, and it's 1, 2, 3 cars past Halpower right there. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Rinsky and Manso follow the train of Garcia, and they get past Halpower in that damaged BWT Audi, and he's definitely not going to be happy about that. Maybe some strong words to Garcia after this race. The collision was not his fault. Just lost it. And Halpower ran into the back of Garcia, so no real finger pointing going on, but he's definitely going to be blaming that damage that he got from Garcia right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in what is a sprint race, of course, you try to make as many positions as possible in the first few laps. Certainly, you don't want to leave any opportunity on the table, but that was a very unfortunate contact. And like I said earlier, they will have to deal with the consequences of that contact for the rest of the race. Very short laps around here, by the way, as we once again head for the start-finish line. The strategy, of course, these guys will try to stop. Usually they try to stop as late as possible. They are going to put the necessary fuel in. They will leave the tires as they are, because there is no advantage in changing them. And here we go once again.
Man, so going to around the outside, Senna S is braking a little bit early, letting Ranky have that position right there. But way in the back, Catalina and Gazinski going at it into the Senna S. Catalina actually went off track a little bit, but here comes Hyman. And Hyman coming up into P13. He's going to split the gap, and it's 3 wide coming down the short chute. There's a little bit of collision. No one got turned. They keep it pointing straight, but very, very damaging for Kalina right there, as Hyman is now up in 11th, but Kalina and Hyman still battling out. Hyman up onto the inside. Kalina is going to hold it right there. We see Gazinski moving up onto the inside, but Rodriguez is leading out this train for 9th place.
Excitement all over the field. We basically have a long snake of cars, as you can see from the track map, from P1 down to, well, P20 basically. This is a very, very competitive field, as per usual, as we are used to. It's usually the the way GT3 racing works. So, by the way, let's see if we can see what happened to very quickly to Manuel Fidalgo. A few laps ago, here we go. He should be that green Audi. Oh, he was already sporting some damage. Oh,
Ooh.
then, rear wing damage before
He was already in a slide. As he was heading into the set, as he was already sporting a slide, now he's sporting a wicked rear wing right there. So unfortunate for him, but he's continued on track. As we're looking back at the battle for 7th of Kaczynski, who's actually at the end trail of this battle, and now it's really the battle for 10th for him.
Let's give some love to... Well, before we go to the race leader, let's focus on this fight, because all of a sudden Katila closing in on Hyman very quickly in that beautiful, beautiful Mercedes. Those were the colors of my old team, so absolutely big thumbs up from me, as car number 21 is trying to get past car number 8, as you can see. Not easy, and of course, Austin, the different makes, the different models, of course, also have different strengths, and each track and each part of the track. As behind them you can see closing in Matteo Couso, and he's got a very nice livery as well. Look at that, nice alligator.
The croc of the field.
Yeah.
Matteo Croccoso is chasing down Tomei Cadlina as they're flying down the front straight. Let's see if the crocodile gets any ground coming up into the 7Ss. He's a bit far back to make any move up the inside, but he will have a bit of a run right now. Looking up a different line, a little bit of squeamish in the brake zone. We saw that correction in the wheel, but he's following this battle for 11th very closely and might try to make a move if any of them slow up and have an incident. But he's also under pressure by Stryker behind him in that pink car.
Yes, one of the tracks that used to host the F1 Grand Prix in Brazil was Jacarepaguá, which means the swamp of the alligators, and that's also where the Indy cars, Champ Car kart used to run in the late 90s, in that, let's call it an oval, even though it was anything but. Very unique, very bumpy. Now I think a track that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it still exists.
It still, well, the oval certainly isn't used. They hosted the MotoGP there for a bit in the early 2000s. Let's show the race leader why not. He's having a nice ride, 1.8 seconds in front of his rival Camillo Pezzoli in second place. This is certainly not over between the two of them, still a long way to go. In third place is Kyle Dunlop, Adam Pilo is in fourth, Antonino Garcia in fifth, trying to, get back into the groove after you can see the damage on the right rear side of is Audi. And Lars Rinke, Daniel Manso, Stefanov Bauer putting pressure on Manso in front of him.
Manso down to the inside. Hot Power has a run on him around the outside, but with that front end damage and with that Merc Power, Manso's going to defend that easily from the stricken Audi, as they both go a little bit off track right there. Manso, Hot Power, Rodriguez, the battle for 7th is lining up here on lap 9. As we're 13 minutes underway of this 40-minute sprint race.
Yeah, in the chat, our friend Alvio is surprised. He I've never seen a McLaren GT3 in iRacing. Well, confirmation that they do exist, in fact. And rare breed. Usually they are very successful around Monza. Tracks with long straights. Actually, I think the race in Monza this season or the previous season, don't know which one was in the calendar, was won by a McLaren. But
White.
Oh, Manso sideways. This is the chance for off Bauer. Despite the damage, he could have a good run on the straight, which is not a straight.
He's got up beside him. They're going side by side, but it looks like Manso has recovered from that, and now he's gaining on Halpower. This might come in handy for Rodriguez. Rodriguez dancing around the backside of Manso. Manso up onto the inside into the center S. He's going to hold a very tight line. Halpower's going wide. They hop over to the curves, and Halpower right ahead. That's Pilo in the wall.
Disaster, fourth place car, Adam Pilo is around. We'll get a replay of that. Also, Pezzoli is going a bit wide, and this battle is continuing.
Yeah, Manso and Halpower. Halpower tapping the front end of Manso. Well defended, but he goes wide. Halpower goes wide, and now here's Manso on the switch right. Manso up onto the inside, back into 6th place. Halpower comes back in behind him, but Manso leading out this train of cars. So coming into these slow hairpins.
I'm a bit afraid. I don't think we will have a lot of time to get to the replay, as these two guys are still battling it out, almost making contact. And Halpower has to be careful because that car is already quite damaged there at the front. But certainly a big surprise, because Adam Pilo fought hard to get up into that 4th place. It was looking good to maybe close the gap on the podium. Thank you to Nikodem Birzipki for subscribing to Apex Racing TV on YouTube. Hopefully you are enjoying the show. Once again, every time they go on the straight, it's an opportunity to make a move in the Senna S, as this time seems like Halpower will not be close enough to make the move. I dare to go very quickly to the replay. Very quickly.
This is Adam Pilo, and I think this is him getting onto the inside curb of the Senna S back end, losing it out, but this is actually the second part of it. Gets a bit too excited on the throttle. He gets... Woo. That was a hard hit to the guardrail. Right there. So he has a stricken car, and he is now sitting in 10th place. Looking up at the battle for Finn Garcia and Reinke. Garcia been up there at the front of the field after that issue with the Senna S, and Reinke has pretty much followed him out through there, as they're pretty much the farthest up battle for the battle for 4th.
Also, thank you to Ludovic Ortiz for subscribing to Apex Racing TV on YouTube. Halpower, you can see on board, and how much that Audi is struggling because of that damage. Right, despite the draft, you can see it's taking a long time to close on that Mercedes.
He's gaining on him. He's getting significant ground. He's going to set it up to the inside. Senna S laid all the braking zone. Do this earlier in the race, and he goes wide in the braking zone. And Halpower is going to hold it around the outside, which is now the inside of the Senna S. And Halpower, unfortunately, getting unable to get past it. Now he's defending from Rodriguez, going all the way to the inside of the track. The Audis battling out, and here comes Rodriguez. And on Halpower, they get... I believe there's a little bit of touch right there from Halpower on the inside curbing, as Halpower is back in 7th.
I mean, we are basically almost halfway through the race. There has been action non-stop all over the field. Also, we have a nice battle brewing for 3rd place, Dunlop and Garcia. Let's switch there for a bit. Fight for the podium. Sorry, that was a battle for 4th place. Garcia and Reinke, apologies. But still, these two guys very close. The moment I switched to them, the gap dropped to 0.6 of a second, so back to this fight here.
Back to the fight for 6th, Manso and Halpower. Rodriguez has fallen off behind him as they're coming down the front straight. Will Halpower have the run on Manso once more?
As we thank Jules Honor for subscribing to Apex Racing TV. Very popular broadcast, apparently, this one. And why not? I mean, this series is fantastic.
It is a very fantastic strength of field series, which is why we broadcast it. One of the most fun series to watch, even if it's not a league that a lot of It's not a league that has footholding in us, but it's a very fun strength of field series. As Half Hour unable to close in on Manso. So we're entering 19 minutes and about halfway through this 40-minute race. Pretty fun race midfield wise. So there's a massive train back there in the battle for 11th. This is White and Stryker going at it right here.
Yes, this is the part where the BMWs and the Ferraris are apparently grazing right now. The lone, the lone BMW in the field and the two Ferraris in the field all together. White, Rubilar, and Zeni. You can see him here, beautiful Formula 1 livery, by the way, as they are making their way through the second part of the lap as White goes a bit wide. Rubilar is certainly looking to
Rubilar! He's off track. He had a little bit of a tank slapper. And when I say a little bit, I mean a massive one. That car just shot off to the right very suddenly as we're looking at up to the battle for fourth between Garcia and Raikkonen. But that was very unfortunate for Rubilar, who's down in 17th now, and he's going into the pit lane, so he must have had some damage, or he's just gonna go into pits.
Lescano Manso is around. Mistake there.
He's doing so well. Was he turned?
Also, Matteo Couso is going very, very slowly. We will get to the action all over the place. We need split screen. Look at that. And Adam Pilo is coming through the field despite his damage and trying to profit from these battles in front of him. The rear wing looking decisively second-handed. So Couso went off the track, I think, to avoid maybe Lescano that was crashing. Let's see.
It was utter chaos, but here's Manso and the BWT of...
That was of Bauer. Manso goes around. So Manso goes around, and that's, the first part. And the second part is the alligator going around. Maybe it was on his own, let's see.
Well, he's already passed him right here, so I think, he just drifted up on the inside, stayed on the curbs just a little bit too much. Maybe got onto the throttle a little bit, but he's in the pits, and everybody's coming into the pits. Well, everybody in the midfield is coming into the pits. The leaders have not stayed out, but as we're halfway through this race, I predict around about a 29 to 30-minute race here at Sao Paulo Interlagos. We're looking at the battle for 7th. Hyman and Pilo still going at it. Pilo sitting on the rear end. That Audi, it's Audi v Audi. Who's the better driver? Who's got the better car set up? Who has the better feel for the track? Pilo just going to take his time and stay back there. Even with that stricken car, he's putting in some work on it.
Absolutely looking to make the move now on the inside. Good defending from Hyman. Pilo now sending it sideways. Missing a lot of downforce, of course, because of the damage. And Hyman gets the position back. But look at the run that Pilo is having once again. Will he jump into the pits or will he continue?
Yeah. As we're watching the battle for 7th, we might want to go into the battle for 14th place. Manuel Figado and Kaczynski going at it right now.
We'll switch to that after this first corner, which seems to be all good. But now look at that. Katila is coming through as well. So this might be right now the battle to follow, because Katila is coming through using this fight between Ayman and Pilo. And let's go on board with Katila, by the way, and see what he does.
Katila's got the run up. Pilo defended that one nicely, and then he comes back up track. Katila is not going to be happy about that as they're heading into turn 3. This long left-hander, and Katlina has another run. They're going to go try around, go around the outside of Pilo. But Pilo is defending that car, making that stricken Audi as wide as possible with that very interesting rear wing of a car, as the Merc is just watching these two Audis hold up.
Apparently, we have the Marcin Gazinski fan club in the chat, and certainly.
I believe he's streaming.
Really?
I think he might be.
He's, he has been in the pits, and he is the first of the cars that, with already one pit stop to their name. So certainly a driver to keep an eye on in the rest of the race. Here he is, as he's of course now gotten his pit stop out of the way, and looking, I think, to get some clean laps in as Ayman goes into the pits, and looking to put quick lap after quick lap, and who knows where he might end up after all the pit stops have been completed. Manso and Salvado, with Manso trying to get past the Audi. Of course, Manso is certainly, ruining his mistake from earlier when he spun into the Senna S. I don't think he hit the wall, but he certainly had a big time loss. And now he's trying to make his way back through the field, car number 19, and he has, of course, to stop already. Looks like he's about to put on a move on Juan Jose Salvado in front of him. Manso using all the width of the track. Of course, there is an incident limit in this series. It's going to be 17 incident points. The drivers will have to be aware, even though this one is one of the, one of the tracks that are, not particularly demanding on the drivers concerning incident points, as Paolo Zeni is in. Adam Pilo is now under pressure from Catila. Well, now, again under pressure from Catila.
Yeah, Catila in that Mercedes, they have a car clear of him, and that's going to ease up this battle and maybe give Kalita a bit of a run as they're going up side by side into the short shoot. Heading into turn 3, Kalita is going to have the outside line in the braking zone. Now we've seen Pilo get that. Oh my goodness, that's way off track. Where are you going? Looked like Kalita wanted to make a beeline into Argentina right there, but Pilo's back up into 7th place.
Absolutely, as despite the damage, he is really holding on his own. What could have been for Adam Pilo, of course, without that mistake.
Some of the regulars in this series are actually not here. This is one of the lower strength of fields we've had in the top split compared to other weeks in Brands Hatch. This battle for 12th is lighting up. I thought there was a crazy move by Hyman onto Fidalgo right there for the battle for 13th. Croc power of Kuso is going up behind Stryker, and Stryker defending up on the inside from Crocodile Kuso back right behind him.
See the situation with the stops. Yes, as they go back to the start-finish straight one more time. Let's see if none of these drivers will jump to the pits, of course, because they have all stopped. Let's see if Kuso can have a good run on Stryker then.
Kuso in that Audi is going to be down on power from that Mercedes, so all of his overtakes are going to be in the corners, but pretty sure the fans are cheering for him in that very radical designed crocodile skin right there.
Heading into the final 10 minutes of the race, as these guys keep jostling for position. We are still waiting hosting for the pit stops of the leading drivers. The top 10, as you can see, is yet to stop.
Oh, but it's getting dicey in the battle for 13. Zenai going around the outside. Well, he was looking for the around the outside move on Hyman, but Hyman is leading out this field as a mobile 1 Ferrari. The leading Ferrari of this group and the entire field is trying to make it up to 13th. As Striker defending from Kuso right there in 15th. As these guys are just going at it right now.
They are absolutely going at it. You said it right, as guy in 10th place, Juan Jose Salvado, is in, so he's the first of the top 10, momentary top 10 runners to go into the pits. Everyone else has stayed out. This Ferrari is absolutely beautiful. This number 20 car, Mobile 1 livery, as Catila and Pilo going at it once again.
Pilo and Kitslina. Now Pilo's going to have the advantage in this inside. Kitslina only has the advantage on the front straight and side straight here at Interlagos. So it's going to be very separation between these two guys, as Pilo's going to try to pull away, but with that stricken rear end, he's not going to have the downforce that he is used to. So he's going to use that short wheelbase of that Audi to his advantage.
Oh, little bit of a mistake from the Finnish driver. Gives Pilo the breathing room he needed. Who's going to jump into the pits this time around of the top runners? Well, it's Pilo.
There goes Pilo. Now, with that mistake for Kitslina, Pilo might have a little bit of advantage on his outlap if Kitslina is going to try to undercut, if he's going to try to overcut Pilo by having advantage in here. Kitslina and everyone else in the lead might come into the pits after this lap.
Kuzo using all of the track. You see, yeah, he went on the grass, trying to find a good run.
The crock of Kuso. He's setting up the inside a little bit too much on the brakes as Striker is going wide, and Kuso decided he might give him a little bit of a hard time, but Kuso's not backing down for a fight. He's sitting in that slipstream down that short chute. The Merc has the advantage right here, but Kuso was testing out his brakes going to descend S. Ooh, laid on the brakes. Very defensive move by Striker. Positioning his car the right. Kuso's going for the switchback move. Striker defending on the inside, not giving any room to Kuso to go in through an open door right there. Great driving in the battle for 14th between these two guys.
Race leader is in the pits.
Carlos Viales has off the pits. Pezzoli and Dunlop all in the pits. The top three in the pits right now. Everyone's going to the pits. As Striker defending that inside line. We saw him been doing that this entire race, just absolutely holding off Kuso in the best way possible, as they're going to head down onto the front straight as Mihalis has hopped off there. And Katlina, he's carried on. Katlina is up into third by not going into the pits.
Hofbauer, Manso are both in as well. So let's see who is missing from the pit lane after...
It's just Katlina.
I think you are absolutely right. Yes, he's the only driver left, so keep an eye on him. And see...
He wants to get in a gap on Pilo as much as he can. As we're looking at our McLaren leader of Carlos Vijalas shooting up some beautiful flames here in Interlagos.
And having a very good success in the pits, you know, he's now distanced his closest rival 5 seconds. So he's certainly looking good for the race win. And at the same time, I think that we should have Tommy Catila in the pits right now, this time around, unless he is really, you know, saving a masterful amount of fuel, but I think this will be the time he comes into the pits.
Yeah, Catalina now using all of his pace. He's going into the pits. Right now, let's see where he comes out. If he's going to be right next to Pilo, ahead or behind him. And here is Adam Pilo with that still damaged rear wing. I guess he didn't want to wait in the pit lane for that long since he was in that battle for Catalina. Catalina in the pit lane. He's coming out right now, but it looks like Adam Pilo is going to have that position very easy as Catalina is now coming out of the pits, and Adam Pilo has pulled off the undercut on Catalina.
Yes, coming out of the pits, he's going to be in a big fight with Manso, Kuzo, I think, and yes, that Zeni as well. Here comes the alligator car, and this is going to be a dogfight on the backstretch.
Woo-hoo-hoo! That was a little bit of a weird track re-entry for Catalina, but the croc of Kuzo, he's making a good old fight, and he's up into 13th from the car for the pit lane. Catalina is very shocked because they've never seen that crocodile car in front of him today, and they're going to have a brand new challenger in front of them, and it's another Audi to be a bigger pain in their butt.
Yeah, this midfield battle, you know, in the positions 10th and downwards. Everyone is so close to each other, trying to get a spot in this top 10. In the end, Gajinski gained 5 places compared to his starting position with his early pit stop, and now he's sitting in 7th. He will have to defend, I think, from Pilo, who is coming back, you know, and Hofbauer is 7 seconds in front of him, so unless something crazy happens, the Polish driver will have to settle for 7th place, you know, but you know, still a very good result for him. As we continue to follow this battle here for the, you know, basically the second half of the field, as Manso is now feeling the pressure from Kuzo.
Got Kuzo and Manso. These guys have been battling out even before Catalina joined the fight, but as they're heading down this short straight, Manso in that Mercedes as Kuzo, woohoo! Oh, he gets very late on the brakes, and he's made a massive jump. Almost looks like he's going to take a bite out of the rear end of that Merc, but Kuzo on Manso, he's going to have a good advantage, and he might try something in this infield right here.
Look at how much dark the skies are. Absolutely, you know, if we had rain in the simulator, we thought it was going to rain any moment. But, luckily for these drivers we don't, but still very ominous clouds on top of the racetrack.
Yeah, Kuzo with a free track ahead from a very aggressive defending that he had earlier on. He's going to have a clear track and a clean run to slip up that nice Merc power slip straight down the front straight, and he might make a move heading into the S's as the Croc power might show itself right here. 1/10 separates them. He's getting as close as he can. 0.1 underneath the... Oh my goodness, he gets to the wall. He tried to go for a move, but the sudden slipstream, he just couldn't control the car, and Kuzo unfortunately goes into the wall on turn 1. We need a replay of that.
That was
a slow motion replay.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we needed some slow motion in that.
Oh.
That's a tank slapper.
And he has jumped back to the pits.
The right move. And that was a tank slapper just carrying his car. Very crazy collision for Kuzo. And he's not going to be happy for that. As here's the crash again. Spectacular crash from the outside view.
Very strange.
Yeah, that was just a tank. It was a tank slapper that carried his car from there. Because he turned left and then right. Which just set the weight just haywire. Very unfortunate for Kuzo.
At the same time,
only retirement.
Yeah, I think you're right. At the same time, more or less, Adam Pilo had a mistake in the first corner. Nothing major. I think he went wide here.
Back in,
Yeah.
clear it out just a little bit.
Oh,
We'll
good
keep it
save.
on the wall. A little bit of a tap on the wall, but no significant damage, but very hard for Pilo. As we're entering the final minute here at Interlagos, your leader, Carlos Viales, has a 6-second gap on second place at Camilo Pizzoli, and Cal Dunlop sitting in third. These guys up front have been having a very easy race. Let's see if Viales is going to lift off the throttle for a minute. See if he can finish out this race for the final lap.
I mean,
he's had a very dominant race and a very
yeah.
dominant qualifying.
He deserves a
He
bit of
is the
camera
number one in
time.
the session.
You know, he deserves a bit of camera time because there has been so much action behind him that we have not shown him a lot. And, you know, it's always a surprise when a McLaren is in front. And, you know, he has absolutely dominated
He's
today.
Carry for another lap.
White flag.
White flag's out here in Sao Paulo. And Carlos Viales dominating from lap 1 today as the rest of the field's going along beside him. And I think he's going to earn himself a lap. But the action's not over yet in the midfield as battle for 9 between Hyman and Zenai is carrying on into the Senna S's.
Let's go on board with the Ferrari. We haven't been on board with a Ferrari today.
Well, there's only 2 in the field.
Absolutely, you are right. And, you know, one has got some issues. Rubilar earlier dropping several places.
Action-packed day here in Sao Paulo. Let's see if we get one more bit of action. Hyman and Zenai. Zenai closing hip on Hyman coming into the turn 3. And now who's going to have the better inside car? It's Audi versus Ferrari. 9th and 10th place. And Hyman, the number 8 car, gets the 20th car of Zenai. Zenai is also the biggest mover in this field, up 10 places from where he qualified in 20th. But as he's coming down the front straight, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Sao Paulo round of the VRS GT Sprint Series, it is Carlos Viales taking the win. And he's followed by Camaro Pizzoli. And in third is Kyle Dunlop.
Fantastic stuff from the race winner. We see the other drivers coming home. The final few battles being settled. Garcia will beat Hofbauer to the line. Paolo Zeni is not going to get past Hyman. He's going to defend from Manso, and Pido will have to settle for P12. And one final fight is this one between a couple of wounded cars, Fidalgo and Rubilar. Well, the Ferrari looks very good. The Audi does not. And this is going to be a photo finish, I think. Let's bring out the chopper. Actually, I think the...
Oh, very aggressive defending from Rubilar by Figano. Unfortunately, that defense did not work, and Rubilar is going to get the run on him and get the finish up into 18th. But that was very aggressive by Figano in that defensive line. Just held that inside. Wasn't expecting Rubilar to come up there, giving us a little bit of a heart attack in the booth. But Rubilar stealing 18th place from Figano. Any position counts here.
It really does. You know, these are the most points on offer during the week, so you want to get, you know, as good as a result as possible. Jose Arias is the final car to come home, and now we shall guide you through the official race results for this Interlagos round in the VRS GT Sprint. I haven't called it blank pan, not even once. I am absolutely surprised by myself. And here we go, Carlos Villegas, your race winner in front of Camillo Pezzoli in second. Kyle Dunlop from the UK and Ireland in third. Lars Reinke, Antonino Garcia in fifth. And Stefan Hofbauer, Marcin Gazinski, Joseba Rodriguez in eighth. Christopher Hyman in ninth. Paolo Zeni in 10th. And Daniel Manso, Adam Pilo, Tommy Catila, Ronald Stryker, John White rounding up the top 15, and Juan Salvador David Flamand in 17th Nicola Rubilar from Argentina in 18th place. Manuel Fidalgo, Frank Schlottmann with a tough race, and so Jose Arias, and the only retirement has been Matteo Cuso, but he really put on a show for us today. Sadly, he has nothing to show for, but I have to say these 40 minutes, Austin, really flew by. It was action-packed from the green flag to the checkered flag. Absolutely amazing round of the VRS Sprint Series.
Yeah, great race like always, and I believe we're going to have to end that right now because you have to jump over to the BRS MX5 Cup.
Well, if you want me to do extra work, actually I'm about to jump off to some nice Italian dinner, but you made a good
I guess
call.
somebody else's. I guess somebody else's.
Yes, absolutely. But you made a good call because, of course, our viewers can jump to the iRacing Esports Network in exactly 50 minutes. The MX5 Pro Series is starting. That will be from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Also, tomorrow is off, but we will be back on Thursday night for the BSRTC Pro Series 7:15 GMT. Then on Friday at 7 GMT, the iRacing Le Mans Series will be live. And then on Saturday, the doubleheader with Formula 3 Asia at 13 GMT. And then later in the night, we are going to have at 18 GMT, the Euro V8 from Oulton Park Fosters. And to round up the week on Sunday, we are going to have at 10:45 GMT the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development GT Series. Austin, your final thoughts on this round?
Great dominant race by the top three. Amazing midfield battles. Congrats to Christopher Hyman for being the biggest mover today, as well as Paulo Zila really moving up 10 spots. Great midfield battles. Some unfortunate casualties right there, but very clean racing, very professional, very close. All the action to show up next week one more time here on Tuesday. 1 p.m. Central Time for us Americans that love this series for the VRS GT Sprint Series. And just fantastic racing. Thank you, Marco, for joining me in the comms box. You've been awesome. I'm Austin, and I hope y'all have a good night.